Okay, good evening students. Welcome to Ask IITians. I'm Harsh Patodia and today we are going to talk about SAT2, where it will be used and other things which will be important, okay? Because after grade 10 there are a lot of questions in our mind where we have to go and what are the various possible ways. So this, a series of video, I would say this is just the first webinar we are having here. So we will be basically talking about, today about what is SAT2 and one query that we have got from a lot of students, okay, even when I'm teaching, in my batches. So a lot of students are having query regarding, sir, difference between SAT, SAT2, ACT, right? So these overall things I'll be, discussing in brief. And then we'll be concluding our today's webinar with some exam strategy, how the paper is going to come and what we can do to score perfect in 2400. What are the things that we lag, okay? So today, since I am being a mathematics expert, so I'll be talking more about maths in the later half. First half will be a generic discussion and the second half will be talking about majorly about math strategies, followed by our videos. Next week we'll be having on chemistry, physics and more tips and tricks on maths, right? So about Ask IITians, Ask IITians is education, tech-based education online company offering various courses across the globe, connecting all the students from different parts of globe for engineering, medical and other entrance preparation. And at foundation level from grade 6 to 10th, we prepare students for Olympiads, and eventually after grade 10th, okay, most of the students are appearing for exams like IIT JEE, NEET, SAT2, SAT1 and again ACT and other state exams, state board exams like that. So we are focusing more on strategies to optimize the students' preparation. Not only we are dealing in the curriculum, but along with that our main focus is to give students maximum things like customized test series, customized study planners, okay? I'll be demonstrating some of them at the end, okay? So basically whole discussion, okay, will be we'll be talking about SAT2 today, and in our coming videos we'll be talking about much more stuff, okay? So let me just show you the points of discussion today, the points that we will be discussing, okay? Okay, so as you people must have looked at, the points which I have mentioned, right? So I was talking about, the things that we'll be talking about. So the first 3 points, as you can see, they are more generic, okay? And the second two, the last 2 points, my discussion will be more about, mathematics, followed by, next week, chemistry and physics. So do make sure you are watching all complete webinars in order to make sure that you get 2400 in the SAT2 this time. Okay, so let us begin our discussion with the first point, and in the meanwhile I'll be taking talking about the strategies and all, and what is the first we'll be discussing about the questions, and solutions also I'll be talking along with it. So what is the difference between SAT2, SAT1 and ACT? Okay, so many people have confusion in that. So let me tell you that SAT1 and ACT, they are quite similar subject tests, and they are not basically based corely on the subjective things. They test more of logical reasoning. Okay, whereas when I talk about SAT2, it is basically known as SAT subject test. You have over 20 subjects. So SAT2 subjects are again optional in many universities, where you want to choose a particular subject, right? Particular stream. So some universities, they want to check your subject knowledge, what you have learned over in your high school, and basically all these three, right? Majorly they are used in US universities, right? So why we are discussing for SAT2? Because again, I guess students from Middle East, India, and other parts of Asia. So SAT2 is an additional way for them to come to India in NITs apart from JEE Main. Apart from that, SAT1 ACT, they have nothing to do with admissions in India. SAT2, SAT1 ACT, they are again used in the major concept is developed for US students. But if you are appearing for SAT2 through DASA scheme, again, which I'll be talking about, you can enter in India through DASA scheme in JEE Main. It's an alternative for JEE Main for entering into NITs, triple ITs, and other state universities, right? So first of all, let us talk about now SAT2. As I've already mentioned, it will be testing your subject knowledge, whereas SAT1 and ACT, they are logical reasoning and testing on your English verbal ability skills. Okay, so SAT2 mein first thing that we are supposed to do, okay, we should be sincere throughout our grade 10th, 11th, 12th. That is a main, for Indian students living in Asia, or wherever you are situated, whether you are in Middle East countries, Southwest India. Okay, and if you are preparing for SAT2, so there are two things where you can use your SAT2 scores. Okay, first is, as I've already mentioned, you can use it in for entering US universities, which many people plan to do if they are having a good budget, right? Obviously, studying in India and studying in US is just a matter of money. If you are having a lot of money, you can just go to US and through SAT2, and again, it's a more easier way to go there, right? So coming to this thing, grade 10th, 11th, 12th. So basically, SAT2 will be testing our geometry skills. Then in algebra, we will be having linear inequalities and functions, quadratic expressions. So a lot of things from algebra, geometry, and the miscellaneous part. Again, I'll be talking what we have to do in miscellaneous as well. So, jo 10th ke part se, the 10th part which is supposed to be done thoroughly is the mensuration part, where you are doing areas, perimeters, volumes, right? So these topics are, again, when you do in grade 11, 12, looks very easy. But the problem is, like, while preparing grade 10th, okay, we do not prepare it according to 1 minute question, because I'll be talking about that also, the exam pattern. So the time is the main thing which we have to manage in SAT2. So 10th grade say, if we are preparing accordingly, and if we keep our speed intact, and we are up with the formulas, it becomes very easy to deal the geometry in SAT2, which is again way easy than CBSE paper. Trust me, if you see this thing, one sample paper of SAT2, even grade 10 student will say, come on, this is so easy. The only few concepts of sequence series added with functions and a little bit of matrices and determinants. That's it. If I teach few topics to a 10th grade student, he will be in a better position to appear for SAT2. Okay. Now coming about how to prepare for SAT2. Again, as I mentioned, it will be used for getting universities admission in US, and it is also used to enter through DASA scheme in NITs and other triple ITs colleges. For that, as I have already mentioned, a lot of we have already uploaded the infographics, which will be demonstrating complete information about what kind of CW reservations are there for people living in Middle East. So only students who are Indians, like NRI students who are studying abroad, if I am talking about India, right? So they are eligible to give SAT2 for entering into NITs, okay? Now, how to prepare for SAT2? The first thing which most of the students across the globe, they go for official guide for SAT2. That is a primary book for SAT2. And they are, again, engaging in classes for over months, okay? Which I totally, disagree. Okay? If we are preparing for SAT2, we don't need to spend, months, 6 months, 8 months for that, which you people, find in many places. Okay, these are the things that we have to do, okay? But if you are sincere enough in your grade 10th, 11th and 12th, okay, beginning of 12th, because that is the ideal time where I should, like let us say I'm in grade 11th right now. So the ideal time when I should be giving SAT2 will be next May, when I just enter grade 12th, okay? After that, we will be, we have dates in May and June, okay? So basically SAT2, when we are talking about preparation, first thing that we should know is, again, when to give the exam, and again, what are the dates? Because SAT2 is conducted in 6 dates across the year, okay? Every year, most probably October, November, December, January, and May and June. These are the fixed months, okay? Sometimes the January can, become August as well, okay? So you have got 6 dates, and ideal time to appear for SAT2 is May or June of your grade 12th, so that in case if you are not able to score well in that, you have another chance in December, and you are thorough with your preparation by then, okay? So that is the first thing that we should be very clear with this. Okay, preparation strategy involves paper pattern, not only the syllabus. See, that is written everywhere, right? Okay, syllabus wise, these things, 4-5 units are there. I have also mentioned that there's nothing new in that. But when we are preparing for any exam, not only SAT2, so when we are preparing any exam, so it should be backed up by complete knowledge. Okay, how many students are appearing? What is the exam pattern? When it is ideal, if the exam is on the variable dates, so obviously that also plays an important role. Okay, if I am giving in grade 11th at the end, although the preparation is possible, but for that again we need to put in some extra effort. But with our school preparation, it is very easy to prepare, for SAT2, and we just need, guidance of 1 or 2 months. And what is the difference when we are studying at school and when we are seeking a guidance? So basically, like at Ask IITians, initially when our batches are like when the batches start, okay. So initially what we are finding, if I am giving a mock paper, so approximately to solve 50 questions, students are taking around 2 hours, okay. Now the given time for SAT2 for maths, the paper pattern for SAT2 maths is 50 questions and you are getting 1 hour, okay. Now obviously if I am saying exam is very easy, even a 10th grade student can appear for it, if potentially, not eligibility wise, but potentially. So definitely exam is not that difficult, but what makes it difficult is the time, the time constraint, and secondly, again, the scores needed to crack it, okay. If I talk about exams like JEE Main or JEE Advanced, so usme you have got approximately 90 questions or 60 questions for 3 hours, okay, which nails down per hour average to around 30 or 20, right, not more than that. But here obviously questions are way much easier. There is no point in comparing those questions. But the same thing is for IIT JEE Main. You still have, after providing that much of hours, the cutoffs are 25, 30, like that, 25% or 30%. Whereas if you want a good NIT with a good branch, let us say you are targeting for NIT Suratkal or NIT Warangal, and you want to get a computer science, so obviously 70-80% SAT2, it's nothing, okay. You need to be on perfect score or near to that. That is for all 3 subjects if you are appearing PCM, right. So if I am talking about NIT admission, so you need scores above 2350, okay. So many students, they are going for first attempt on their own. And what is the difference after the guidance and before the guidance? Knowledge level may, obviously there is an increased increment in the knowledge level, but the speed has to be tremendously increased, because what we tend to do, we are able to attempt 50 questions for, out of that 45 questions, and again 42 questions if you are able to attempt 42 or 42 plus. So basically you crack that exam, like you are scoring perfect. Anything goes above 42 43 questions in maths. Right now I'm just talking about maths. In chemistry and physics, again we'll be having seminars next week, so you people can stay tuned next week as well. So coming to this mathematics part, 50 questions for 1 hour, okay. So usme the main thing which we are supposed to, the main things, that's the main mistake the students do is the calculation errors. In order to solve question for 1 minute or 2 minutes, right, if the time stretches 2 minutes, it adds to the stress. And if the student solves it too quickly, so there are calculation mistakes. So this is what we train our students, how to avoid those calculation mistakes. Even though graph calculators, scientific calculators, they are used, but still using them, again, we advise even if you have calculators, that is only required in hardly 10 to 15 questions. 30-35 questions you can solve even without calculator, and that too faster, because in feeding in using functions in calculator and all, that is also a cumbersome technique. But obviously there are some questions which can only be solved by calculators as well. So the main thing we should focus when we are preparing for SAT2 is about time management. How to solve 50 questions in 1 hour. Fine. So that is about the exam pattern. Okay. Now how should we attempt it? So basically in SAT2 there is an advantage. The question level increase as you attempt more questions, right? So if I am starting from question number 1 and I am ending at 50, it's a progressive difficulty level. So easier questions are easy to attempt. In initial 15-20 questions, they are very easy. As you will move up, across 20, so there, the screening round in SAT2, we don't need to waste much time on that. Obviously, it is advisable that you need to, score in all the sections, because again, as I mentioned again, score the chapter, the number of questions are 50 and the score we require per subject is 800, right? So basically how those are scaled. So 50 questions according to the difficult questions, easy questions you have attempted, your scaling is being done. Let us say I have attempted 35 questions, okay, and I picked first 35, okay. So my score can be roughly around 650 or 700. But if a student attempts 16 to 50, okay, 16 to 50, so his score might be significantly high. If I am getting 650 or 670, he might be getting 710, 720. Although we might have attempted equal number of questions with equal accuracy. But you have to keep in mind that more difficult questions you are attempting, so it will be helping your score, when it will be upgrading, okay, when they will be scaling it up. So then it's useful. Although there is no negative marking for SAT2, but yet it is recommended that you people should go for perfect attempt. Means we should avoid as many errors we can, because that wastes our time, okay. If we are doing a wrong question and wasting 2 minutes in that, so it could have been used in another question, right? Now talking about strategy to score maximum marks, as I have already mentioned, time management is the first thing that we should be following. So how to improve that time management thing? What is the difference when the student is preparing before any guidance and after any guidance? The students, most of the students, they do theory like that, okay. Even if they are attempting questions, right, students are not using time, time management part. That is, they are not using watches while they are solving the problems. So this is the main thing, that when we are solving questions, okay, for SAT2, we should always keep a stopwatch with us, where we will be, seeing what is an average time. Let us say I sit in algebra, right? So in that, if I am spending 15 minutes, what is the number of question count? Okay, so that needs to be optimized. Usme you will discover that there are few areas out of 5-6 topics which will be there, like geometry is there, algebra is there, pre-calculus mein functions comes in. And there are huge weightage for conics and all, where you get a lot of graphical questions. Okay, so functions and conics mix will give you approximately 5 to 7 questions in SAT2. So we need to identify regions in SAT2. One more thing which I would like to share with all of you is the one added thing which we provide, okay, along with the regular classrooms and all that, I'll be talking again, okay. So basically, this is what it looks like, okay. Now, what exactly is this, okay? This is a study planner which we provide to our students in addition to, a lot of other things which I'll be mentioning, like test series, mind maps and all. So what does this study planner does, okay? Just have those who have missed it, just look at it once more. Okay, so as you can see here, there are some books recommended. Obviously, official guide is there. So apart from this, you can follow these books. Apart from that, we are having important areas. Okay. Now, if I get a list like this, okay, and if let us say there are 15 topics, and for all 15 topics, if I get a list like this, isn't that wonderful? Yes. So basically, in that, we will be basically getting those areas from where questions are being asked. And last, revision plan. Now, once we are doing our preparation, okay, first round is when we are doing the chapters for the first time, okay. Once our preparation is completed, right, so how to get that chapter revised, that is also available in the plan, okay. Similar to this, like we also provide mind maps in which the all shortcut formulas. This is the planner. Mind map is having all sorts of formulas, shortcut techniques, okay, which are used in that particular chapter, right. So again, I'll be mentioning about that. So if we are having weightage wise everything, like as you are seeing on the top, okay, just see at the right hand top of this planner which I'll be sharing again. As you people would have seen, the weightage was 6%, right? So if I roughly calculate, it, out of the total score, okay, this is particularly for maths, obviously. So we can calculate, approximately 2 questions will definitely, 2 to 3 questions can appear. Now, again, these are obtained for, pattern from last 3-4 years. We keep updating our database for the same, right? Now, apart from this, once we are prepared, right, obviously, now how do we know, like I have followed study planner, I have followed classes, I have done, hard work at school, okay. Now what is the next level? Still many students are not able to reach that perfect 800. Itna karne ke baad bhi, even after doing, this much of things, scores, that we have observed, okay, the students who are preparing, okay, well from classes as well, apart from school, they are able to manage around 750, 740, 760, if a student is brilliant, right? Now, what needs to be done, the last step, to make that 750, 800, and that is the most difficult step, okay? Getting 750 from 600, you can improve just by repeating the SAT2. But from 750 to 800, that is the main, crux, where, test series comes into the role, okay? Again, throughout our preparation, okay, we should appear for chapter test, which keeps, which ensures that our speed is fine, right? Now, how do we do that? Because when we are in books, okay, when we are solving through books, so there is a restriction that obviously this happens, with a lot of us. Okay, even we set the timer as 1 minute, 1 hour, right? So what will happen, even if you are doing one question and that is left incomplete, we extend some seconds or, we complete that and then we evaluate. And this is where Ask IITians again, have an edge. Okay, when if you will be taking up, I'm not saying only Ask IITians, but if you are going for online, test series, so that is an advantage. You have a time always, okay, and you cannot extend or you cannot stop the test in between. If you are doing a test, you're time bounded, okay, and that puts the actual pressure which you will be facing when you will be going for actual SAT2, okay. So that is the main thing. Keep yourself, engaged in time bounded test, not only physically, but if we are having some restriction which we cannot, obviously there is no technique that we can, delay that thing. So that helps a lot, and it actually improves performance. Even if you are not, studying anything, you just go for test series, you just attempt test, right? It's very, very helpful, okay. It can actually make your score, from nowhere to perfect 800. Why? Because the only thing that we need to cope up in SAT2 is the speed part, because concepts are so easy. If I talk about questions, like, what kind of questions can come, let us say x raised to power, 2 by 5 is given some value, 0.3, okay. Now the question can be asked, what is the value of x cube, right? Now looking at the options, 5 options are there for SAT2 for each question. So by looking at the options, you can guess, okay, if I do, 0.5 raised to power 5 by 2 and cube of that will be 0.5 raised to power 6 by 5, right? So clearly if you see, 0.5 ki power is greater than 1. So answer options mein, it should be less than 0.5 like that. So these kind of techniques, again, when we are solving the question for the first time, okay, again we have done a pilot study on the same before coming to any conclusion. Okay, initially, even if the student knows everything, the time taken after attempting the test, okay, because the first test is eye-opener for most of the students. They will attempt 30-35 questions and complain in classrooms that we are having sir time managed nahi ho raha hai, and we are facing difficulty in completing the test. If you would have given me half an hour more, I would have completed the whole test, right? So that is the thing we need to do. As soon as we understand that our speed is less, and when we can understand, when we are evaluated, when there is a detailed analysis in the same test, if I have a report, okay, that tells us what is the topper's time, what is the average time, so I will be able to understand that these are the topics I am lagging in, okay. This is how at micro level you can get the analysis at Ask IITians. Okay, not only it will measure your time taken totally, but with each question you will be basically able to get algebra mein your average time was this, geometry mein your average time was this. So by this actually you can figure out where is the actual problem. If I am good at geometry, I will not optimize speed in geometry. I am already doing that above average and well near to the topper, right? If I am lagging in algebra, I need time to sketch graphs, okay? So I will be practicing more on that. So if I talk about the complete preparation for SAT2, roughly it takes 1 month, 1 to 1.5 months, okay? Even if you are just, you have done nothing apart from your basics in school. So in that 1.5 months, obviously first 15 to 20 days, are given for the theory part, which you can easily cover. Okay, in 15 to 20 days, given there are only topics which you have done and few additional topics for people who are in grade 11th. Okay, because many people they give in grade 11th as well after like in January attempt when their 11th is gonna end. So for them they need to do some extra work on vector 3D, then topic like matrices and determinants, right? And the best part about this is, the people who are already studying in grade 12 or 11, they might be knowing what is calculus by now, right? So the calculus part is missing from SAT2, which obviously I think JEE Main and JEE Advanced people, they hate like anything. Not in terms of conceptual, but in terms of difficulty level, the time spent on that, right? So that is the advantage that calculus part is missing here, okay? And again, coming to this part, yeah, once we are giving the test, once we have optimized our time strategy, then we appear for full test, okay? Because once we have given some combined test of 2-3 topics, okay, chapter wise we have appeared. Now we are ready to give 10-15 tests once we are prepared. 15 days mein we are supposed to do theory plus the chapter test, unit test, and after that again, so it's just a matter of 1.5 months. If we prepare properly, dedicatedly, we can actually score well in SAT2, and that too perfect 2400. If you people have any queries, you can post it in the comment also. Plus I have already mentioned the students who might have joined late, so there is infographic available, some testimonials are available on the page which you can browse after this webinar, which will give you more information about the experiences of the students at Ask IITians who have scored perfect 2400. So they will share their experience what needs to be done. Plus infographics is given people who are from Middle East or any part of Asia, and they are appearing for JEE Main, not JEE Main, as well as SAT2 to get into NITs, triple ITs, or other 10 or 15 state universities which accept SAT2 through DASA scheme. Fine. And apart from that, make sure you guys watch our coming videos when we are discussing about chemistry also, physics also. In maths, if you have anything, you can just comment. We'll answer it. Definitely you will get the queries. In case you people can also give suggestions if you want some in-depth knowledge of any other entrance exam, if you have any other requirements, you people can just mention the topics which you people feel ke Ask IITians can help you conducting webinars on that. So we'll see ke majority people say if we are getting a common demand, we'll try to have webinars on that. So this is again an initiative to make aware you guys about SAT2, and in coming videos we'll be discussing more about chemistry and physics. And in brief, I'll mention in chemistry there are 85 questions coming. In physics there are 75. So experts from physics and chemistry, they will be sharing their experiences. Fine. And one more point which I forgot, right, which just clicked in my mind. Okay. Let us say in case you people are not preparing for NITs and all, for appearing in US universities, right? So as I mentioned initially, SAT1 is compulsory for the students who are appearing in US. Okay. So again, 90%, more than 90% universities, they accept SAT1, which is known as Scholastic Aptitude Test. Fine.